knees on the mat. Maybe your hips and your knees are aligned with each other. If you can move your shoulders on top of your ankles, spreading all your 10 fingers. So for your toes, you have an option to untuck your toes or tuck your toes. So depending on where do you find the right balance for today. So we're going to do cow and cat movement. So when we inhale, we're going to slowly arch our back, gazing a little bit forward or maybe gazing a little bit up, noticing the extension of your front body here. And on an exhale, we're going to slowly push our hips up, our shoulders up, rounding our back, maybe gazing in between your knees. Do it 3 more sets. Maybe taking it slow depending on your breath. Inhale and exhale. Maybe on your 3rd set, notice how you're moving your spine from your sitting bones all the way up to your neck. And exhale. Last set. Inhale. And exhale. And then let's meet in our neutral spine position. And then this time, I invite you to tuck your toes. And then take an inhale. And then the next exhale, slowly push your hips up in your first downward facing dog. Maybe micro bending your knees. Walking in place, bending one knee after the other. Maybe staying there for 3 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in and out. And then on your next inhalation, come into stillness. Slowly gaze forward so you can walk your feet on the top of your mat towards your hands. Once you reach there, take an inhale, lifting your torso up. Maybe your fingertips are touching on the mat or maybe on your block. And exhale, fold down again. On your next inhalation, notice each vertebra starting from your lower back, slowly coming up to your shoulders and your head. And exhale there. So in our first standing form, so I invite everyone to notice your 10 fingers, your heels. Maybe you want to warm up your toes by spreading them wide. So notice this, your feet will be the foundation in our standing poses. So notice which width do you want to feel balanced. So maybe it's hip width apart, maybe a little bit apart, or maybe close together. So each body will be different. So maybe take a moment to notice which one would provide you a better foundation. Okay, and then hands on the sides. So let's start to warm up, feeling more balanced. So when we inhale, we're going to lift our heels up and exhale down. Inhale, heels up and exhale down. One more set. Inhale, heels up and exhale down. So let's start with our half sun salutation. We're going to do 2 sets of half salutation. So we can begin by hands on the sides. Inhale, bringing our hands up overhead. Maybe bringing our palms together. If you can gaze towards your fingertips, maybe or not, it's okay. And then on an exhalation, we're going to hinge from our hips. So you're going to bend from your hips, maybe bending your knees a lot. And then holding or resting your palms down on the floor. If you need to use a block, you're welcome to use your block. Inhale, lift your shoulders up into a halfway, maybe gazing a little bit forward, and then exhale, bending again And then slowly inhaling, rolling your shoulders, your hands up overhead. Exhale, landing your hands to your heart center and to your side. On the second set, we're going to stay in forward fold for 3 breaths and half lift for 3 breaths again. So you need your block in front of you, so you might want to prepare it just in case you would want to use it. Inhale, slowly raising your hands up, feeling the length of your body from the sky towards the ground. And exhale, softly bending your knees, hinging from your hips, landing your hands down on the mat. Let's stay here for 3 sets of breath, connecting with your breath, connecting with your body, just feeling the heaviness of your shoulders and your head drawing you down, but keeping your feet, your toes engaged. And then on the next inhalation, slowly lifting your shoulders halfway, maybe keeping your hands on your block, or maybe resting your hands on your shin. If you're willing, start to maybe feel the lengthening of your spine in this perpendicular shape on the floor. Maybe gazing forward would help you. Lengthen, feeling your sacrum and your neck parallel to each other. Breathing here and breathing out. One more breath in. Exhale, bending again. And then whenever you're ready, on your next inhalation, drawing your torso up, hands up. Exhale, hands to your heart center and to your side. Are we still okay? So for the next series, we're going to do Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskara A. So we're going to do that on 3 rounds. We will not be staying on any pose, so 1 breath at one time. But if you feel like you need more time to engage, you're welcome to engage, and then we can all meet in downward facing. Okay? So inhale, raising your hands up overhead. Exhale, bending again from your hips, landing your hands down on the mat. So you can micro bend your knee a lot. Inhale to your half lift, perpendicular shape of your torso with your mat. Exhale, landing your hands down on the mat. Maybe step or walk your feet back to a plank. Breathing here and breathing out. So for those who are practicing vinyasa, so you can proceed with your vinyasa and let's meet in downward facing dog, or you can all come all the way straight to your downward facing dog. Breathing here and breathing out. So in our downward facing dog, so imagine your body in an inverted V shape. So if you want to make adjustment, maybe bringing your feet and your palms closer to each other and slowly lifting your hips up and back, and continue to breathe and breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. Last breath in, and then on your next exhalation, slowly gaze forward. Maybe walk your feet on top of your mat, coming to an halfway lift for your next inhale. Exhale, slowly folding forward. Inhale, rolling all the way up, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart center and to your side. 2 more sets. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, bowing all the way down. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, bending again, walking your feet at the back of your mat for your plank. So either you stay in your plank and then proceed to your downward facing dog, or do your vinyasa. meet in downward facing dog. Staying there for 3 sets of breath. Breathing in and out. Pushing your shoulders down. Important. Breathing in and out. So from your downward facing dog, inhale, looking forward. So step or walk your feet on the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bowing down. Inhale, slowly rolling all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center and to your side. So let's proceed with our standing poses. Inhale, hands up, overhead. And then if you're willing, you can slowly maybe draw your hands a little bit at the back, doing a small arching of your back as we come into a back bend here. Engaging your core to protect your lower back. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath in and out. Take a long inhale, exhale, bending all the way down, hands on the floor. And then step your right foot back, maybe resting your right knee down on the mat. Option 2, untuck your toes or keep them tucked. Okay? So we will leave our right palm engaged on the mat. And then on a next inhalation, we're going to draw our left hand overhead, coming into this twist. Breathing in and out. So notice or maybe invite your palms, your hands, to draw a straight line, starting with your right fingertips, left fingertips, all the way down to your right palm. Breathe in there and breathing out. One more breath in and exhale, left hand on the mat, and then tuck your toes, and then slowly lift your hip up, and then walk your hand towards the right side of your mat until you reach your right leg, and then come into a half squat. So if you need to, you can put a block underneath your hips to sit on if this is too much, or just allow your left leg to come into a straight line. If you're willing, you can keep your hands down on the mat, or maybe invite your hands to come into a prayer position. Breathing in there and exhale. So here, start to notice or feel the extension or the stretch on your left inner groin, and then maybe inviting your spine to also sit tall and long from your sitting bones up to the crown of your head, and then using your right elbow to press against your right knee. You can stay here for 3 more breaths in this meditative form. Just take a moment to notice your breathing pattern. One more breath in. Exhale, hands down on the floor. And then continue to switch or face your right leg, palms on the mat. And then slowly lift your right leg up off the mat, and then before you rest, both heels down on the mat, coming back into your downward facing dog. Staying in your downward facing dog for 3 sets of breath. From your downward facing dog, inhale slowly, gaze in between your hands, and then walk on top of your head with your hands. Once you reach your hands, take a half lift, bringing your shoulders up. Exhale, bowing down again. Inhale, slowly rolling all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart center and to your side. Breathing in and breathing out. So let's face the front side of the room again before we move to the next side. So take time to engage again, foundational for your feet. As we move, maybe hands on your side. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, bending forward. Inhale, lifting your shoulders or your toes are up. Exhale, bowing down. This time, moving your left leg back. Left knee resting on the mat. So once you've rested your knee, so we're going to inhale and bring our right hand up and exhale. So I invite you to imagine a straight line between your right palm and your left palm down on the mat. Maybe also invite some energy from the sky to come down through your heart. One more breath in and exhale, both hands down on the mat. So we're going to tuck our toes, lift our left knee, and then slowly guide our body to the left heel while we keep our right leg extended. So you can sit on a block if you want to, and then maybe bring your hands into a prayer position where you anchor your elbow towards your knee. You can also invite your spine to be tall and long, keeping the balance. Breathing here and breathing out. One more breath in. Exhale, palms down on the mat. And then continue to move to the left leg. Palms down on the mat. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift that left leg up before you come into your downward facing dog. Breathing here and breathing out. So from your downward facing dog, in your inverted V position, inhale, look forward. Slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Once you reach there, inhale to a lift. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, slowly rolling all the way up. Hands overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart center and to your side. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, let's rotate and face the front side of the mat, and you can walk on top of your mat. And then we'll do another sequence or series of poses. Okay, so this time, remember earlier where we crossed our elbows together. So we'll start with that. So forward again, hands. So right hand or right elbow on top of your left. And then holding palms or maybe palms with each other. So you can stay here, or if you're willing, you can slowly bend your knee and then imagine that there's a chair on your back where you can sit on that chair. Breathing here and breathing out. 2 more breaths in and exhale. 1 more long breath. Exhale, slowly untangling your hands, landing your palms down on the mat. Inhale, coming into a half lift again. Exhale, bowing all the way down, palms on the mat as you walk your feet coming into your plank. So I invite everyone, if you're willing, you can stay in your plank form, maybe for 3 sets of breath. Breathing here and breathing out. So engage your core. Use that engagement of your core to lift your hips up in your plank. Breathing more and out. 1 more breath in, and then exhale, both knees down on the mat, untuck your toes, and sit on your heels, coming into your child's pose. So keep the engagement of your arms. If you can keep your elbows away from your mat, so that would help you to actually engage your arms, lengthening there, and exhale. 1 more breath in and exhale. So inhale, coming back into tabletop position, lifting your hips up, tucking your toes, and then let's meet in your downward facing dog. Lifting your hips up and back, forming an inverted V with your body, and exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in more and breathe out. So notice your right leg. So lift your right leg up the mat, keeping it hang for 3 sets of breath, getting the strength from your hips, engaging your hips as you lift your right leg off the mat. 1 more breath in, and then on an exhale, can you bend that right knee as you keep your hips lift, right heel lifted, lift and bend your knee. Breathing in and out. 1 more breath in, and exhale, rest your right foot down on the mat, and let's meet in downward facing dog before we move to the other side. So if you're ready to move to the left leg, inhale, lifting your left leg up and back, pointing your toes, engaging your thighs very well, breathing in and out. 1 more breath in. On an exhale, bending that left knee so you can bring your left heel close to your right glute. 1 more breath in and breathe out. Breathe in more. On your next exhale, slowly bring that left foot down on the mat, coming into your downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, and maybe step or walk your right foot outside your left palm, followed by your left foot, and then sitting on a squat. So you can sit on a block. So remember earlier we did a half squat. So this time we're going to do a full squat. And you're welcome to bring your hands into a prayer position. Maybe anchoring again your elbow against your knees. You may also close your eyes, inviting your breath and your heart to slowly cool down. We're coming into our closing poses, cooling down poses, and breathe. One more breath in, and then exhale, both palms on the mat. If you're sitting on the block, remove the block. And then slowly walk your feet towards your back. And then rest your belly and your chest on the mat, using your palms as a pillow for your forehead. And take a few moments of rest there. Breathing here and breathing out. Maybe 2 more breaths. You can stay for a few more breaths in this form, or you can join me in our back bend. So I invite you to extend both arms in front of you overhead. And then you can have your legs together or a little bit together. On your next inhalation, you're going to lift your head up, your arms up, and your feet up. So imagine that you are the Superman or Supergirl flying. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe on your next inhalation, you can lift more, or just stay still. One more lengthening, and exhale slowly, release, and rest again. Your chest, your heart on the mat. Breathing here and out. Then slowly invite your body to flip so you can lie or rest on your back. So turn around, so rest your back on your mat. You may extend both legs, you may rest both arms on the sides. Just revisiting the grounding pose that we have. Breathing in and breathing out. And then, if you're ready, I invite you to bend one knee followed by the other knee so you can rest both heels down on the mat. So your knees are pointing the ceiling, heels are grounded on the mat. And then notice your right ankle. Maybe you can open your knees a little bit wide, maybe as wide as your hips. And then bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Right ankle on top of your left knee. So right ankle on top of your left knee. Let's stay here just for a few breaths before we move. Take a long and full inhalation, and on your next exhalation, thread your arms in between your legs so you can hold your left shin and maybe lifting your head up off the mat. So your head and your knee are trying to reach each other. Inhale, and when you exhale, still grabbing your left shin, you can rest your head down on the mat. Breathing here and out. Staying here for 3 more breaths. One more breath in. Slowly exhale, release your hand from your shin. Release your ankle from your knee. You may stay in stillness by bringing your knees together, or if you want to move your knees or swing your hips side to side, you're welcome to find that rebound that your body is asking you for the moment. And then whenever you are, so let's all meet in the center, knees towards the ceiling, feet on the mat. Then slowly bringing your attention to your left ankle, Draw that left ankle on top of your right knee. And stay there for 3 sets of breath. Breathe in and out. And then whenever you're ready, on your next exhalation, slowly lifting your head so you can thread your arms and reach for your right shin. And on your next exhalation, you can slowly rest your head while keeping your hands on your shin, pulling that right knee towards your heart. Notice if there's any tension in your shoulder. Maybe you can shrug your shoulder and invite it to relax and be grounded on the mat. 2 more breaths here. Take a long and full inhalation. And exhale, slowly releasing your hand, landing your right heel on the mat, releasing your left ankle. You can come into bringing your knees together or maybe swaying your knees side to side for a few sets of breath. Once you're down with your rebound, gently bring both knees together to your heart, so close to your heart center, hugging both knees. And then slowly take a long and full inhalation and exhale, draw both knees towards the right side of the mat, your right side, landing both knees on the right. And then you can keep using your right palm, you can keep your right palm on top of your knees. And then maybe you can invite your left arm to extend on the left side. If you're willing, you can also slowly bring your gaze towards the ceiling and then close your eyes. Staying here for 3 sets of breath. On your next inhalation, slowly draw your knees and your left hand back to the center, hugging your knees towards your heart. Inhale there, and on your next exhalation, drawing both knees towards the left side this time. Once you've landed your knees on the left, you can slowly extend your right arm on the side, maybe resting your head towards the ceiling and gently closing your eyes. Connecting with your breath for 2 more sets. On your next inhalation, slowly drawing both knees back to the center, hugging both knees again, maybe rocking side to side, side to side, and then coming back into the center, extending one leg, followed by the other leg. Revisiting that grounding sensation of your whole body. Maybe notice if you need to do a little shake with your body, and then slowly finding your resting form. Before I give you a Shavasana, I invite you to slowly scan your body, starting from your head, on your face, inviting your face to be soft and gentle. Maybe a small smile can help you ease up a bit. Notice if your shoulders still holding to that emotions or tensions that no longer serves you. Maybe your exhalation can bring or ease up that tenderness on your shoulder. Noticing your lower back and your hips. Inviting your legs to be long and relaxed. Maybe softening your knees. Softening your ankles. Noticing how your toes are playing on the sides. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for a few moments, allowing your body to absorb those movements that we did, allowing your body to rest. I invite you to slowly bring your attention back to your body, back to your mat. Inviting subtle movements to your fingers and your toes. Maybe swaying your head side to side. Slowly drawing your knees close to your heart center, and then choosing left or right to lie on the side in a fetal position. Maybe revisiting that feeling of giving love to your body for a well-deserved practice today. And then whenever you're ready, gently bring yourself into a seated form. If you're willing, you may rest your hands close to your heart, maybe bowing down a little bit. Taking a moment to be grateful for this morning, be grateful for your body. Thank you for going on your mat to honor your practice today.